In 1989, a soft drink company from New York briefly controlled 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. On paper, Pepsi had just become the sixth largest naval power on the planet. The company's president reportedly told the White House, "We're disarming the Soviet Union faster than you are." How does a cola company end up with a war fleet? The answer is one of the strangest business stories of the 20th century, and it starts 30 years earlier, with a single cup of soda and a furious Soviet leader. Stay to the end for how the fleet story actually finishes. Moscow, summer of 1959. At the height of the Cold War, America was allowed to stage a national exhibition in the Soviet capital. Vice President Richard Nixon and Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev toured it together, arguing about capitalism in front of a model American kitchen. What most people forget is what happened next. A Pepsi executive named Donald Kendall had begged Nixon the night before, "Get Khrushchev to my stand." Nixon delivered, and Kendall handed the most powerful communist on earth a cold cup of Pepsi. Cameras clicked as Khrushchev drained cup after cup on a hot Moscow day. The photograph of the Soviet leader enjoying an American cola went around the world. It was perhaps the greatest free advertisement in history. Kendall never let go of that moment. He rose to become Pepsi's chief executive, and in 1972, he closed a deal nobody thought possible. Pepsi became the first American consumer product officially produced and sold in the Soviet Union. But there was a problem, and it was fundamental. The Soviet ruble was worthless outside the USSR. Moscow could not pay in dollars. So how do you get paid by a country whose money does not work? The answer was barter. For every batch of Pepsi concentrate, the Soviets paid in something the West actually wanted: Stolichnaya vodka. For years, the deal ran quietly and brilliantly. Pepsi built more than 20 bottling plants across the USSR, and Soviet vodka filled American liquor stores. For ordinary Soviet citizens, that bottle was more than a drink. It was the one legal taste of the other side of the Iron Curtain, sold openly in a country where American jeans and records had to be smuggled. People queued for it. It became a small, fizzy crack in the wall. Then the 1980s arrived, and the machine broke. The Soviet appetite for Pepsi kept growing, but the American appetite for vodka could not keep up. Worse, the war in Afghanistan triggered boycotts of Soviet goods. By the late 80s, Moscow owed Pepsi a fortune it could not pay in vodka and would not pay in gold. The negotiations that followed produced one of the most surreal sentences ever written into a commercial contract. The Soviet Union settled its soda debt with a navy. 17 aging submarines, plus a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer, handed to Pepsi at roughly scrap value, along with new oil tankers built in Soviet yards. Let's be honest about the fleet. It was rusting, obsolete, and headed straight for Scandinavian scrapyards. Pepsi never planned to raise a flag over it. The ships were simply frozen Soviet debt with propellers. But on paper, for a moment, the numbers were real. And Kendall knew exactly what he was holding. His joke to Washington about disarming the Soviets faster than the State Department became business legend. A year later, in 1990, Pepsi and Moscow signed an even bigger barter package, worth billions, this time built around those oil tankers. It was the largest trade agreement ever made between an American company and the Soviet Union. 18 months later, the Soviet Union ceased to exist. The empire's fall shattered the deal. Pepsi's plants, contracts, and debts were suddenly scattered across 15 new countries, each with new laws and new problems. And into that chaos walked the rival that had been locked out for decades: Coca-Cola. While Pepsi untangled Soviet-era agreements, Coke bought and built fresh. Within a decade, it had overtaken Pepsi across most of the former USSR. The 30-year head start, won with a paper cup in 1959, was gone. So the day Pepsi owned a navy was never really about ships. It is a story about what money actually is. When currencies fail, value finds other containers. Vodka, tankers, submarines, sugar water. If you enjoy history's strangest deals and accidents, subscribe. There's a whole series of them coming, and the next one is even harder to believe.